Your self-talk is everything. In this video, I'll be going over how having better self-talk will ultimately change your entire life. There's positive self-talk and there's negative self-talk. If you have a lot of low confidence and a lot of insecurities, that is because you keep listening to the negative self-talk. So much so that it became your identity. But you are not your thoughts. And this is the first principle to really learn. If I were to tell you to think of a cereal brand, what is the first brand that comes to your mind? Whatever you thought of, clearly you didn't make that conscious decision. It just came to you. And that's how thoughts are. They just come to you based on the situation. So as a result, you are not the thought, but you are the observer. You are the witness of these thoughts arising. And just like you are not that cereal brand, you're also not the negative thoughts you think you are. The most common negative thoughts are usually fear and doubt. The fear that something bad might happen and doubt that the thing you want to happen will not happen. This is what leads to people never actually accomplishing their goals or never actually going forward. The reason you have negative self-talk is because sometime in your life, something negative happened to you. And even though it wasn't your fault, you internally kind of blamed yourself. This became a domino effect that caused all these negative thoughts. That external situation is your trauma. Trauma is a word that's loosely thrown around, but really understand everybody has it. It simply means some negative experience that happened in your life that shaped and altered the way you perceive the world, and in return, how you perceive yourself. It reminds me of my dog, Nico. He's like this young Yorkshire Terrier, and we got him from a rescue place. He was only like 2 years old, but I remember the first time I saw Nico, he was being very shy and reserved with me. I would go up to him, I wanted to pet him, but he just kept making distance and he showed signs of fear. It's kind of interesting. It's almost like the dog itself had this negative self-talk. Anyone listening to this would assume that that dog probably had a traumatic experience. Maybe the past owner hit him, maybe the past owner didn't feed him. That negative experience left a mark on this dog. And that happens to everybody. You project your past into the present moment, which kind of alters your reality, because the situations and the people in the present moment, they didn't go through the same past. Those things have a different perspective. So you need to be able to be more malleable and start detaching from the negative thought. Like I said at the beginning of the video, no thought is you at all. And you know this because you can observe your thoughts. You can think of something and then think of that. You could just keep going back and back and back. This is proof that you are essentially an observer. You are like the awareness as a whole. You are not any particular thought. And how many times in your life do you feel so bad about something and the next day you didn't? Or you felt so good about something and the next day you felt normal? That's because you are not the thought itself. Just simply understanding that thought isn't you is the first step. The next step is starting to categorize that negative thought as your weak bitch voice. You can even visually imagine a weaker, softer, fatter, more unattractive version of yourself that is saying this in your ear. If you even want to, you can say it out loud. Today I was on the treadmill and I remember 20 minutes in, I started having the feeling of, fuck, this is difficult. Am I actually gonna do this for another 25 minutes? The moment I had that feeling, in my mind, I literally said, fuck that. Then I reframed it. Any negative thought could have a positive outlook. And that positive outlook is who you want to start associating yourself with. This is the inner champion voice. So literally in my mind, I said, fuck that. The reason I'm doing this is to reach resistance. If this was easy, then everybody would do it. The fact that it's difficult means I'm growing. I'm so proud of myself to get up on time, regardless of what happened yesterday, to do this shit. This is gonna create the man I wanna be. These are positive things I tell myself. Sometimes I even say this verbally if I'm really trying to wake myself up. Another really good example is when you're eating food, and perhaps it's something that's not as tasty as you're accustomed to, or the calories are a little bit lower than you're accustomed to. The moment the plate is presented to you, your bitch voice might be like, oh my God, this is so bland. Man, is this diet ever gonna work out? Wow, I really wish I could have ice cream right now. You need to become aware in that moment and reframe. No, fuck that. I am not obsessed with looking for dopamine in my food. That is pleasure-seeking behavior. I take pride in my ability to choose my purpose over my pleasure. If I can continue to have the discipline of eating this way for a long time, not only will my body get better, but my discipline's gonna grow. I'm so proud of myself to be able to eat like this. I don't expect everybody to eat like this, but I wanna put it on myself because I know challenges is what makes people strong. I am grateful to even have what I have on this plate. Some people would kill to have this food. These are the things I tell myself. A nice template for positive self-talk is to ask yourself in those moments, how am I grateful? How does this help me? Because every situation can help you. And you can be grateful for anything at any given moment. Even when life throws you challenges, you're just grateful that there's a challenge that you can overcome and a challenge that's just gonna make you stronger. And you have to understand that if right now you have low confidence, you have a lot of insecurities and all this negative doubt, fear, judgment in your head, you're not just gonna one day have perfect self-talk. Or at least that didn't happen to me. It was a long journey in my experience to start talking better to myself, to get to a point where I feel so confident in who I am. I have zero doubts in my goals and my ability to show up. I attribute all of that with the consistency to keep positive daily habits. Through these daily habits, your positive self-talk will increase. Let's take waking up on time, for example. You wake up, it's 6 a.m., you're looking at the clock, you don't want to wake up, you are tired, you have all the excuses in your head. But remember what I said about self-talk. Those thoughts aren't you. So you're actually not the tired one, you actually don't have excuses. There's just these negative thoughts shooting in your head. Don't associate yourself with the negative thoughts and instead try your best to find out one positive thought. I'm gonna show up for myself because I respect myself and my goals. Regardless of how I feel, I do what's needed. And the more you listen to the positive self-talk, when you wake up on time, when you work out, when you do the things that you know you're supposed to do as a person, when you continuously reflect on who you used to be and you just keep trying to improve as a man so you can become a better man to other people. The more you can do this, the more your positive self-talk just increases and increases. And over time, with consistency, you will have a lot more positive self-talk. It gets to a point where your negative self-talk is so obviously not you. The moment I have a negative feeling about food, I just instantly crush it. And at this point, I never miss my wake-up time. I could be on 20 minutes of sleep and I won't miss that shit. And through all this commitment, you begin to really love yourself because your self-talk ultimately determines how you feel about yourself. And if you want help with this and you really want to level up in all areas of life as a man, my link is in the description to work with me personally. With all that being said, have a great day. Peace out.